everybody. Welcome to When Calls the Hallmarkies. And this is a show where we like to talk about When Calls the Heart. And we're diving into season 12, episodes 2 and 3. Going to be a lot of fun. And I'm film critic Reese Wagner, and Caroline's here.
Hey.
And Mary's here.
Hello.
And hope you're both doing well.
Yes.
Yes, isn't it kind of nice to have a day off?
Yes. I laid around and read all day.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It was, and my daughter's like, let's play a game. I'm like, can we do it while I'm laying down?
Oh,
Are you reading anything good? Anything to recommend?
I'm reading Prairie Fires, which is about
Oh.
Laura Ingalls Wilder's, like all the true stories of
Oh.
the country and her life and how they intersect. It's pretty good so far.
Oh, I have to read that. That sounds really good.
Good. I love Little House books.
Yeah.
oh.
Well, so we have episode 2 and 3, and they're interesting. I feel like especially episode 2 was pretty filler. Like I didn't even hardly take that many notes of it. But so it'll be interesting to see what you all think of this episode, of both these episodes. But episode 2 is called You Get What You Give. And it's when the comic book craze sweeps Hope Valley, Elizabeth teaches her students through nature. Rosemary launches a radio show, and Lucas meets a new political player. So what did you think of this one, Mary? Do you agree with me, or how do you feel about it?
So it was kind of filler, but still some fun things that I took notes of that made me laugh or made me think, oh, this is fun. I want to see where this goes. And always love to see Mike and May together and Bill and Faith together. Or no, Bill and Rosemary. I think that's episode 3. Yeah, never mind. So yeah, it was fine. It was fun. I was looking forward to the season, and this one was just it was fun.
Yeah. What do you think, Caroline, about this episode?
I thought it was fun. I agree. It was setting up the season arcs,
Yeah.
I think. So I like that. And there were definitely some cute moments, and like Mike and May. And I just they're the couple I didn't know I needed. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So true.
So Rosemary, her radio program's coming, and I did think it was really funny when she's all upset about the sign. Or Faith.
Caroline, did you tweet about how who dropped the sign? Oh, what's his name?
Ned.
Ed. And then he's like backing away.
Yeah. Like the gif of
Homer
Simpson. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. And it wasn't Faith there. I thought I remembered that, but
Elizabeth and
yeah.
They were all there on the
upset.
street, like, look at the sign. And she's like,
she was so proud of herself. Like Elizabeth, like celebrating her best friend, and then Rose is like, oh.
So then we have then we have Allie. She's not sure what she wants to do when she grows up. So she's a little bit insecure about that. And her friends seem to have it all figured out. They're a year older than her. But they seem to got it down.
I know. She's still young. I would tell her, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for me, I always knew that I wanted to go to college, and I always knew that I want to go to BYU. That was always it. But I never had like a real career that was the thing that I wanted to do. Like at least from like maybe when I was like a little kid, I wanted to be on Broadway or something like that. But as far as like a realistic career, I never really had. In fact, once I graduated from college, it was kind of a strange moment for me because I was just like, okay, I hadn't really thought beyond this point. Like this was it. This was the big goal to graduate from college. And so I didn't. Yeah, I took the LSAT because should I go to, because I was political science. So it's like almost everybody who's political science major goes to law school. Should I do that? I hated that. No, then I went on mission. But there was like 3 or 4 years and that I was just kind of figuring it out. And then I just kind of ended up being a regular worker, for a long time. But yeah, I didn't have this like dream job that I wanted in life.
Like as a teen. It's interesting now doing the we'll meet with the middle school counselor and high school counselor with each of my boys, and they really are trying to look beyond, like, okay, what and they're still so young. I'm like, they don't know what they want to do, but they really are trying to stress, okay, if you want to do X profession, it's college and career readiness. Now let's work backwards and let's look at some things you can take now, like certification classes or college classes in high school, or go to the local training, VOTEC place. Or so they're trying to really, and in some cases, like one of my sons, he's like, yep, gonna be an engineer. This is perfect. Let's map this all out. The others, it stressed them out. They're like, I don't know yet. I don't know what I want to do. And do I have to know now? And I feel like I'm in a factory, like next, a little good worker.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. So that's why I'm like, Allie's still pretty young. I want to tell her, it's okay, and you'll things will figure out as you move forward. So
did you always want to be a reporter? Was that always...
So I loved the radio growing up. I was in St. Louis, listened to KMOX all the time. But in second grade, when everybody drew what they wanted to be when they grew up, and we saw firefighters and teachers and stuff like doctors, I drew a mom. Always with like babies, lots of babies. and now I have five kids, but I'm also able to be a full-time journalist reporter because my husband works so hard in our family to balance everything. But so I got to BYU like you, and I was like, maybe I'll be a history teacher. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I took a Comms 101 class and just was hooked. So that was when I was like 19, 20. And then it was just, boom, this is my major, communications. This is it. So it took me a little bit, but then when I latched onto it, it was like, so that's what I think for Allie. When you find it, you'll get it.
Yeah. What did you, Caroline? Did you have like a dream job that you wanted, or?
My whole family's teachers. So like my mom, my grandma, my aunt, and my uncle are all teachers. And so I just teacher. And then it became working with children with autism. So it was.
Yeah. And what college did you go to?
Carolina.
Yeah. Okay.
USC.
Yeah.
The real USC.
Which is not in the national championship tonight. My family's watching upstairs, and I know you wished it was. So
yes.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcasts, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
So we have the beginning of a plot with Oliver. He's kind of nervous. He's kind of awkward. And then we see more of that coming up in the next episode. So we're starting to get
some bits and pieces.
He's so cute.
I know. Yeah. I wrote down Oliver is a klutz in this episode.
Yeah. So May and Hickam come back, and the honeymoon was a total disaster. Everything's a mess and was terrible. Then their place is all flooded. It's not going well, and it really could be a sign of like a long lasting relationship instead of like a bad omen. Because my mom hates Las Vegas, and somehow they ended up going to Las Vegas on their honeymoon as part of. My dad, I think, had some work thing. It was. Who knows, but I don't think their honeymoon was great. So maybe, and they've been married for like 40. My parents have been married for like 45, 46 years, something like that. Yeah. So hey,
the
we're pretty good.
The bad beginning just solidified their working together or learning how to, Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Where did you go on your honeymoon, Mary?
We did a cruise in the Caribbean.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's good.
I was like, this is the best. We wake up each place in a new island, and but we
Yeah.
were 29 and 24 and working and had the money. I think my parents didn't have a honeymoon. I think it was like
Yeah.
straight to my dad's new job and straight to penny pinching and
Yeah.
figuring things out. And
Yeah, that's true. My parents were really young.
yeah,
So,
mine were too.
that would do it.
I think my mom would just turn 20 or something.
I think
So,
a cruise is like a great idea for a honeymoon because everything is planned for you. You
oh,
just,
it was the best.
you just go and you just do. Like, I think that would be really nice for a honeymoon.
Yeah, you don't have to figure anything out.
Yeah.
One of my friends, like on her honeymoon, there was like a hurricane coming, and like so they had to divert the cruise. They were on a cruise as well, so they had to divert the cruise to Mexico instead of the Caribbean.
Oh.
As long as there's food on the boat and everybody's
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Well, and your luggage doesn't get lost. Like, I guess this happened to Mike and May. Their luggage got lost. They got sick, all these things. That's a disaster.
And
but
they went to Chicago. Is that what?
Yeah.
But they still have, I think, really excellent chemistry.
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
They were so cute. Did they ever figure out who left the window open, or they both decided it doesn't matter, we're gonna,
it doesn't matter.
They decided. So we have all the teens are super into the kids, and teens are all into these comic books. They're obsessed.
Did anybody catch the part when they come in looking for comic books and they're trying to pay through like different things or like trade for hazelnuts or something?
Yeah.
It says, "I only accept money that jingles or folds." And I immediately stop. The money don't jingle. It folds. Like, Ned. But this is like a huge deal for him,
And one of them said, "Can we have a tab?" He's like, "You're children." Like, that was
Captain Billy and Nancy the Genius Dog. It's captivating reading.
Yes.
They're obsessed.
But I'm not sure why that Elizabeth doesn't just bring these books into the classroom. She could have the lesson about, dogs and nature and just have Billy and Nancy in her lesson. Like, make it work. They're reading.
Yeah. Have them create what happens next for them. Let's talk through that. Let's write down, you could take it in different ways.
I loved in the next one though with Florence being so disgusted. Oh no, that was in this one. I loved it. I loved it when Florence is all disgusted with the comic books. That was really funny.
It's so Florence. Like,
that was
of course she's upset.
Well, so Rosemary, the reason why she's upset about the sign is because she doesn't have anything to talk about for her episode, and everybody's giving her really boring ideas. And that was fun. Anytime you get Pascal freaking out as Rosemary, it's very fun, very enjoyable. So fun.
I was trying to tell my husband I've seen other movies with her, and she's just a different character in those movies that I'm just Rosemary. I just love her. Over the top. And she goes, "When the day is young, the worms will come."
Yeah, that was so funny.
Oh.
Yeah, we did the February preview, me and Terry, and I think it's the one Wishes or whatever. One of them has Pascal in it. And we're like, yeah, she's just loving doing these cameos for these Hallmark movies. She's all over.
They don't have to stay on set for 20-something.
We're like, who is that? Oh, it's Pascal.
One day and you're done.
Yeah, absolutely. So then we have this disagreement between Lee and Lucas, and I was sort of frustrated with Lee. Because I feel like Lucas makes a lot of decent points there. So there's this new lawyer, Edie Martell. She's a lawyer for the ranchers, this shared land, and they can't just like steamroll these people. Yeah. I don't understand like what Lee wants them to do. Like, they have to make this right. Like, in any other, especially Hallmark movie, like they would be the villains.
Yes.
And the ranchers would be the good guys that we're rooting for. So I don't understand what Lee is so upset about when it's clearly out of Lucas's hands. Like,
Yeah.
I just was feeling like Lucas keeps making good points. Like,
Yeah,
what?
I don't know. Was Lee the only thing I could think Lee being mad about was Lucas already thinking of reelection and he was like, "Hey, you had what did he say? Your promises and initiatives aren't worth a hill of beans without your word." But you're right,
Mhm.
he could be a little bit more flexible knowing that there are these constraints that come. I was frustrated that Lucas is already that this the Edwin Mitchell, whatever his bucket is
Yeah, well,
worked his way back in and
so Lee doesn't like Edwin, and that's part of it. But
yeah.
then also, so he's mad at Lucas for not keeping his word about the park.
What is out of
But
his control.
he didn't know
Mhm.
about this. Like, that's not fair to say,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, and
that's
maybe
what I was
that,
thinking. Like, if he knew about all this stuff before, and then it's that would be kind of iffy. That wouldn't be
yeah,
right. But like, he just found out this stuff like literally that day,
It's that
so he
day.
was trying to. I mean, he's new to government. I mean, the poor man was like thrown into this job, and like you
yeah,
can't fault him
that's
for
true.
For
not
sure.
knowing everything. You know?
And good for him to have this open mind because we know here in the Western US, and I wonder if it's the same way in Western Canada, that land and grazing rights and long-term, use is
Oh,
kind of a big
yeah,
deal. And when the government comes in and says, all this land is off limits, never mind, then that's tricky.
yeah.
So, this lady, I'm so curious about her.
Yes, me
I
too.
know.
Yeah.
Well, and I forgot to write it down, but we found out her, the actor,
Is it Miranda or something?
What's her name?
yeah, Miranda McDougal.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I told Anne, I asked Anne if she would reach out. So hopefully we can have her on because I'd like to talk to her. But
Her
but
glasses are the cutest. So I love
I
the
know.
yeah,
80s glass.
I
Yeah.
when we were doing the preview, I thought she was an architect because she had like blueprints and stuff.
Mhm.
I
So
did too. So
I thought she was an
I said
architect.
The
architect.
maps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
but she's a lawyer, and it makes sense, of course, when you hear.
Yeah.
And I think that there's going to be something between her and Lucas. I feel it.
Definitely.
Are
Yeah.
they just setting up the moment when she takes the glasses off and lets down her hair?
Ah!
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
That would
and
be
he's been
good.
kind of like you see little glances, like he's like doing like a second look,
I
like
know.
Yeah.
at her
But then she
already.
takes off her gloves and she has a wedding ring in episode 3. So he's like, "Oh, Mrs. Martell." But there's a story there. I know there is.
Yeah.
That has to be.
Yeah. Elizabeth
Yeah.
wore
She
her
might
wedding
be a
ring.
widow.
Yes. He can.
Yeah. I think she's
Oh,
either a widow, probably a widow.
he can
They
heal
could
her.
possibly have because May was divorced too, so it's possible.
Oh, that's true.
But
Maybe
if
she
you're
wears it for
divorced, would you wear
protection.
your ring?
Yeah, I don't know. She might be
True.
making
That's a
it
good
for,
point.
a woman to be. Did she even have voting rights? Let's see. When was this? 1921. Yeah. Yeah.
Hope
Anyway,
all the Hope Valley women voted in season
that's right.
10. So
Good memory. That's right. Never mind.
Okay, so then we have, but yeah, Lee was kind of annoying me in this episode just a
hmm.
little bit. I'm like, I get it, you're away from your family, so he's grumpy, but
He's a homebody. He wants
yeah.
to.
But then we have Elizabeth taking the kids out to nature. She's like, this is a lost cause. We're not getting anywhere. She's going to talk about civics, and that's not going to happen with the kids just
Yeah.
wanting to read these books. And she takes them out to nature and shows them the footprint. They think it might be a wolf, but they're not used to seeing wolves around here. And so that was, that was fun. And
I have a prediction.
Yeah.
Something with the wolves and the land for the park are going to come to play.
Oh.
So they're going to need
Like
they do like a sanctuary or something like
yeah,
that.
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. So this park, I mean, it would have to be pretty darn close to be within walking distance of the school
Hope Valley. Yeah, that's
for
true.
kids and stuff. So this thing is going to be very, very close.
Yeah. Interesting.
So we have a scene with Henry and Joseph. They're harvesting the hazelnuts, and that's starts this conversation about a business. And they're saying you should start a business, back and forth. And they agree at the end that they're going to start a business together.
Yeah. I love them. I wrote down Joe.
It's so good.
Them together. It's the best. I love this.
It makes sense.
And they're good friends in real life. Martin and Viv. So that really adds to the
I was kind of joking that they could have them invent Nutella. The hazelnuts. I mean, because they don't care about accuracy anyway, so why not?
Ned is an inventor. He invented Band-Aids, so you never know.
That could be a plot. I could see it.
We owe them a bit of gratitude if so.
But then we have I forget who it was that says to May, in marriage you can either be right or you can be happy.
Oh yeah.
I forget who it was who said that.
Is it Bill or was
it Faith?
Maybe Faith.
Oh, it was it was somebody. I can't remember.
Faith and May talked, and Bill and
Mike
Hickam.
Yeah.
I can't call him Mike. Sorry.
Hickam. You're right. It's Hickam.
As the married lady on the panel, Mary, do you agree?
Yeah. There's just so much to be said for offering grace and extending forgiveness because you want it yourself. So sometimes it's just, I mean, I'll sometimes see my mother-in-law just bite her tongue so hard, like she's like, oh. And I just know she's just thinking, nope, I'm gonna let this go,
Yeah.
My parents do that too.
You see that?
Mm-hmm.
I think especially if it's something that does not actually impact your life.
Yeah.
Like if you're having a disagreement about some kind of something just that in the end just does not matter.
Yeah. Is there
and you're just so caught up in being right.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a basis what's underneath it really? If there's nothing that deep down is actually the root cause of that, whatever this thing is you're fighting about, then just need to drop it.
Yeah.
Hey, this is David from the Piecing It Together podcast, a podcast about movies and the movies that inspire them. For over 4 years, each week, a guest and I take a look at a new movie through the lens of what other movies we think were either an influence or connect in some other way. It's a fun, unique way to discuss films that leads to a great list of other movies to check out that either explore the same themes and ideas or maybe utilize similar filmmaking techniques. Including special episodes in our side series that twist the format, we've done over 200 episodes, so there's bound to be one on a film you've been thinking about and want to dig deeper into. So check us out on all the major podcasting apps and at piecingpod.com.
Then Florence goes on the radio, and then Lee quits and he storms out.
Yeah, he does.
And Nathan says to Elizabeth, "You don't give up on people."
Oh,
so,
that was
very sweet.
That was sweet. Did you guys catch it? She said nearly 100 kids had gone through her classroom.
Yes.
I thought, wow. We haven't seen that.
Let's see, because this is year 12. And you figure how many kids?
Anywhere from like
25, 20
mm-hmm.
year.
25.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would that's not unreasonable. 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. I loved when Lee comes in. Is this when he comes home and he walks in the door? She's singing "It Is Well With My Soul."
Oh, that was so pretty.
Yeah, that was nice.
That's my favorite hymn.
Is it? Oh, it's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Her voice was very tender, very poignant.
So then episode 3 is called All That Glitters. And this one is Elizabeth and Nathan uncover Oliver's secret. Rosemary worries Lee has a secret of his own. Allie's interest is piqued when Earl Wyatt returns to town. So, I thought this episode was better than episode 2. I just thought it was more interesting. And it's fun that they're involving the kids much more this season than in the past, 4 seasons.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I like that. And you got Toby and Cooper's Kids Hour, Radio Hour.
That was so cute.
That was really cute.
Yeah. And then Opal and Angela are running the hazelnut cart.
Mm-hmm. I love that the kids are helping Henry with the hazelnuts. Like in last episode too. That was just so cute. Like,
Yeah,
he's
because
really a big softie, and I love it.
yeah,
so
well, Gowan
much.
has had a lot of really fun interactions with the kids.
For sure. When they're all around, they're just smashing.
Yeah, doing the hammer. That
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, Martin's good with the kids. Oh, well, and like in that Christmas special when he's reading to the little girl, that was adorable.
Yes, that was so sweet.
That was really good. So Allie's birthday is coming up. She wants a birthday party that's just with her friends. She's like, Dad, you're not cool.
I know. Which is exactly correct for that age.
Yeah.
I was saying,
I was always bummed because my birthday is in January, and so I didn't ever get to have a pool party.
Oh,
you know, like my friends had summer birthdays.
Yeah.
You had a half birthday.
I know I should have. Maybe I'll do that this year. Because I did a skating party because my parents. So my sister is 2 weeks after 2 years and 2 weeks. Her birthday is 2 weeks after mine. And so she would alternate. My mom would alternate when we got to have a friend's party. 1 year would be my year, 1 year would be Megan's year, and but we'd always have a family party. But we didn't get the friends' big party every year. And so some years I did a skating party once, but it wasn't my favorite. But the best party that we ever had, and you'll love this, Mary, we did a Lauren Goes Wilder themed party. Yeah. And and we made little like loaves of bread, and we all had our like bonnets on, and we made little loaves of bread, and then we had like little cakes with powdered sugar.
Oh,
cute.
And the little patty pans. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, for my daughter, she likes Anne and Green Gables and Lauren Goes Wilder and all. Mainly because I'm making her, let's be honest.
Right.
So, that's a fun idea.
Yeah. Did you have any epic birthday party? I mean, because you had triplets, you must have had some pretty fun birthdays.
To share,
we had we always did our birthdays together, our birthday party. Like we never had separate parties. All 3 different cakes, but the same birthday party. We had skating party, bowling. My uncle is a farmer, and he has a big like barn for parties and stuff. And one year we had, because our birthday's in October, and it was like around the harvest time, cotton. So we got to go on a hayride in the cotton, or not a hayride, but a cotton ride around the farm at night, and told ghost stories. And like we had the best time around the farm.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Well, so she's telling Nathan, like, you never go on dates. And we've been banging this drum for so long.
How many seasons?
How many times have we said they've never had a meal together?
He doesn't ask her out on an outing.
And
kids don't count.
Yeah. And that's what she says. And it was brilliant. I was like, yes. They've never been on a date. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And so
doesn't quite count.
It was a fun moment. That made me laugh.
Mm-hmm. I did too.
She is Hardee's everywhere. Like Allie was like, date, please.
She's doing good. Jada this season, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you? I wrote down when she goes, wolves are much more interesting than boys.
Fair point.
They are.
Yeah. We have Oliver. He's struggling with reading and writing. So we get this kind of arc here. It turns out he lied on his form. I mean, I'm surprised that they wouldn't have some kind of test involved, but nevertheless.
Entrance exam. Maybe it's at the end to get your certification or something. Like
he knows how to read, but like his was like mainly how to write.
Yeah, writing.
Like how to structure.
Difficult. But still, you think there would be a test of some kind, but
a written test.
Yeah, before you're put in an intern position. But he is, he's struggling, and then Nathan has to decide: am I going to tell that he lied, or what are we going to do? Elizabeth encourages him to just help instead, and so he's still kind of figuring that out, but definitely, of course, leaning towards helping.
Oh yeah.
Well,
like Nathan you
don't give up on people.
Yeah, you don't give up on people. And she's like, we can help him,
And she said our cadet. I'm like, that is their cadet now.
He is.
That was cute.
Yes, he's their cadet.
So then Ned gets a rare coin, and it becomes this whole thing with he's very excited about it. And then I thought it was funny when who was it that tells him, "Oh, you should advertise and give it back to whoever."
Rosemary.
No, it was Rosemary.
Names the whole headline. Local humble shopkeepers find treasure. And Ned's like, oh.
He's like, I don't want to do that.
I thought this would be a bigger part of this episode, but I think it'll be next.
Next episode. Yeah.
Well, because now, so Bill is looking into it.
Yeah, the Great Rocky Mountain Train robbery of 1907.
Yeah, and so he's like to Rosemary, "Hey, you want in on this?"
Oh, and I'm so happy. I love them solving things together.
And I'm glad it was Bill like getting Rosemary to help instead of like Rosemary like pushing her way.
Oh yeah, yeah. So then we have Edie Martell comes on the train. Lucas is going home, and he's like, a pool shark posing as a Sunday school teacher.
That was good.
That's right. That's right.
And so Oliver tells Elizabeth that he was at school in Hamilton. So then she calls her friend, and her friend says the school's been shut down.
Yeah, he lied. Caught.
He lied. And then this
one, a good lie. Not a good lie, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, harmless. So then, and then we get Earl Wyatt.
I know, rolling into town like a bad boy on that bicycle.
And his
hair and his goggles and posture.
Reminded me of Lee rather than like in season 2 on his motorcycle.
Yeah,
just ride. Yeah.
Do we think that he's going to be a love interest for one of these girls?
Or just Allie was pretty smitten.
I know. I saw it too, but I'm like, I still think that she's gonna. There might be something with Oliver, but maybe not.
I tweeted last night or X, whatever the terminology is, like grants and love triangles. Like it's just not.
I know.
Well, it's like, what if he was interested in Opal? That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We'll have ourselves a love quadrangle polyhexagon thingy.
I would just like them to give Ava Grace a plot. Like she hasn't. It's been so long since they gave Opal anything to do.
Mm-hmm.
And she's so good.
That'd be fun to see, like the older kids like start to get like little romances and stuff.
Love that.
Yeah,
and that's
because we haven't seen. Have we seen Robert at all this season?
I was thinking about
here and there, but like he hasn't had like a story.
Because I thought they were leading up with Allie and Robert.
I know,
me too.
But those could be some good storylines of navigating teenage friendships and then courtships, romantic crushes, all those things and what those do.
Yeah But Earl Wyatt was fun. I feel like that has potential.
Yeah.
Could he be connected with the coin?
Ooh, it could have been his coin. I could see
somehow
that. It's a good point. I laughed when Lucas goes into his office and it's full of all the hazelnuts. That made me laugh.
Wasn't Hickam pretty nervous about it?
Yeah, Hickam was so nervous. Like he was like spilling drinks and stuff. Yeah.
Why did they even have all those? If they were harvested, they're in like they show with the trees and stuff. Like why? Like the farm is right there. Why are they in his office?
I don't know.
They had to get.
It's not like they had to export them
in,
Oh,
so they could have that moment with.
So he could meet Mrs. Martell, Edie. Yes, at the cafe. Yes.
Right, but that was a funny moment. He's so like, funny. Well, I can't be here.
Turns around, comes right back out.
Bless his heart.
So then Elizabeth and Rosemary were like spying on Lee and Hickam, and that was fun. I enjoyed that, but I thought that Rosemary's skirt was so strange in these scenes. It was this blue skirt, and it was like cut away, and then had like another layer, and had these weird pleats in it. I don't know. I just thought it was very strange.
Yeah. There are hats that they put on, like beekeeper hats. What was that?
Yeah. Why did they have beekeeper hats?
I guess they wanted to blend in. I guess.
Did they have those on because they thought that's what Lee and
Maybe they were just trying
Mike were
to
doing.
look like. But I
was confused about this whole sequence, to be honest. I was like, I don't know what's happening.
It was hilarious, but I kept getting the "don't be suspicious" vibes from Parks and Rec when they were like using the branches, and they're like, they're fast because
like that was really funny when Mike keeps saying like, "Did you see that? Did you see that? It's a bear."
Yeah,
like, the bear.
Then like when
that
they're
was
about
funny.
Then when Rosemary and Lee are about to like kiss or something, Elizabeth's like hiding her face, like walking, like let's leave.
Yeah.
And
did you just see that bush move?
Yeah. But
Ben is so funny.
Like started from the shelves and then all the way to the bushes, and because they watched both of them wheel off on bicycles, and somehow they hoofed it up there in their skirts.
Yeah. So they put the Goldie Trail sign. That's what I'm saying. Like this park is going to be like right on town.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you notice 3 references to it? In the beginning, he goes, "The park is shrunk to the size of a playground." In the middle, he says, "You shrunk the park to the size of a puddle." And then at the end, it's now the size of a postage stamp. So it's like smaller. But Goldie
that's funny. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I caught each one.
That's funny.
Right by the town. If those girls or women got there so fast in their skirts and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like really close. Like
really close. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarkie in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
They put up the sign, the Goldie Trail sign, and then Elizabeth and Nathan have this whole conversation about Oliver. Oliver says he's going to resign. Elizabeth says he's our responsibility. And so Nathan thinks he has to turn him in. So there's this debate. We get a fun scene with Mike and May dancing the Charleston. That was enjoyable.
That's cute.
That. And that's where Allie gets the idea of having a dance party.
Yeah.
So I think that'll probably be the next episode. I didn't look at the title, but I'm guessing Dancing Teens. So
yeah, it's going to be very footloose, I think.
Yes, it might. Maybe Florence,
Yeah, it says Elizabeth helps Allie plan a birthday dance. Nathan struggles with Allie growing up. So, yeah, that should be fun.
Look at the promos. It like as soon as I saw the promo, I was like, "It's footloose." Like that's Florence is so upset about the dance party.
If it's footloose, then Nathan should be really worried. Did you watch that movie and like? I forgot how crazy those teens are. It's not just the dancing. Like there's in the beginning of the movie, there's this insane scene where the lead character, I forget her name, she straddles between 2 cars.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm like,
dancing is the least of this man's problems. You should be worried about that.
Well, Allie is interested in boys now, so.
Yeah.
Poor Nathan.
He's gonna be concerned. He's gonna be really worried.
Yeah.
But as a parent, Mary, like you can't have some like hard and fast rule that each kid is different.
Oh yeah. Each of my boys. My third is gonna give us a run for our money. Our 2 older have been really great about our, curfews and different like rules with cell phones, and our third is already like seeing, can I push this a little?
Yeah.
This goes? And I'm like, oh no. So, and grades and all that stuff. So we're working on that.
It's an adventure. So then we get another, he'd be lucky to have you as a teacher, just like I'm lucky to have you. You never give up on people. That's the main reason I love you. That was very swoony.
Have they said I love you before?
She kind of stood back. when he said that.
But then she goes, did she say I love you too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They said I
Yeah.
love you in 11.
Oh, they did?
Twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
then this, because right after that, when he says that, this
but it
one,
definitely caught her, like when
yeah,
he said that.
maybe that's why I was surprised, because I'd forgotten, I guess, that they'd said it before.
Yeah.
But my husband was watching with me. He goes, when are they going to get married? He's like, just get married already. They're in love. They're
Yeah.
so cute together. Just get
Yeah.
married.
So
I
then
mean-
Lucas is at Minnie's, and that was funny.
That was cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's saying, I did not expect to make enemies out of old friends. And Minnie says, you want to reconcile with someone, you've got to knock 3 times.
Yes.
She said.
More of this
And he said,
relationship advice. Yes.
and then he said I might have to knock 100 times or something like that. That was bless his heart.
Yeah. I mean, it is like the whole
Politics
idea
is
of sort
hard.
of politics being an act of public service that's kind of been somewhat lost in our day and age. But the idea of it's very easy to criticize leaders. It doesn't mean we shouldn't, but it's very easy to criticize leaders. It's very hard to lead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think he sees that.
Yeah.
But then do you think, when you look for the underlying motivation of why Lee is so upset, it's all woven through this article of him figuring out his will and going to the doctor.
Oh yeah.
Dad had died at this age, and he says he wants to leave something behind for Goldie.
That makes sense.
So now you're like, oh, that's why he got so mad at Lucas. He's worried he'll have nothing to leave behind for her.
Yeah, that's true. Because and Faith says you're healthy, and he says, "Have I done enough for Goldie to remember me when I'm gone?"
Yeah,
that's a good point. He's doing this all for not for himself, but for his daughter.
He's
And
worried.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, and I remember when President Hinckley was a prophet of our church, people would ask him like, how do you feel about your legacy? And he's like, I cannot worry about my legacy. I don't think it. Give it a second thought. And it always stuck with me, you know, especially someone like him. You think he would a little bit, and it just kind of something I always thought of, that like we don't have any control in general in life. You don't have any control of what other people think of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just cannot be living for what other people will think of you, especially after you're dead.
No, you just kind of have to do your best, live a life of integrity, hopefully, and service, and do what you think is
Hopefully
right.
everyone sees that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so then that Bill says this was stolen mint money, the coin, and they're going to be looking into it. And then we get Nathan and Elizabeth's date going riding together.
And I'm going to be honest, I didn't like it. I liked the moment earlier when he says, that's why I love you. And she's like, I love you too. But this of them like quietly just riding together slowly and doing a slow motion open mouth kiss, I felt was just a little bit cringy for me. But I know others probably loved it. And it's probably because I am still coming aboard the Nathan Elizabeth train, and I know that this has left the station and I need to get on. But I almost felt like I was like, I've seen her now do this with 3 men, and it just felt a teeny bit soapy, where others were probably like, oh, this is so dreamy. And maybe
I would have loved for him to have actually like done a date with her, you know, like set up a meal and maybe had like a fire and something romantic. Like that would have been really swoony.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, she had dates like with 2 other suitors, men, and so like they gotta do something different. So,
that's true. I was thinking back when Jack took her on a horseback ride in like season 1 or 2. I think she
that's been a thing.
This case, she was sitting like side saddle into him, which
and everybody 1 horse, no saddle. But they,
you know, like it would have been cute if we've got the Charleston dancing. Like, what if Nathan learned how to dance and then took her dancing? Like, just something like that would be cute.
That'd be super cute.
I saw on a promo that might happen, Rachel.
Ooh.
I saw some dancing in a promo.
Just something that takes like a little bit more thought and a little more. It's like more of a date.
Yeah,
they need the dinner. Like dinner is a date. Like
eating something.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. That's the episode, and I think it was much better than episode 2, but they were fun. That's why it's good we talk about the 2 together. I think it makes them more fun. So let us know what you think about both these episodes. We'd love to hear it in the comment section or on Twitter. To definitely check out all of our One Calls the Heart content. We have many, many interviews. It's been hard. I keep trying to find somebody to talk to, but it's just hard with the fires and just things like that. People aren't doing a lot of media right now. So we have lots of older interviews you should definitely check out with most of the cast, and we have our preview, and we have just lots of fun. I think we recapped every episode since season 4. So we got lots of recaps, and you should check out that playlist. And Caroline, where can people find you?
On Twitter at MetaCarolineR.
And Mary, where can people find you?
On Twitter @_ Mary Richards, Instagram Mary Richards Reports, and Facebook is Reporter Mary Richards.
And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group, which is the biggest way you can support us. And we are having a really fun patron event Q&A with Emily Ting, who did Girl Haunts Boy and the big fat Christmas party, Chinese Christmas party movie. Anyway, she's great. And so that will be fun. And you can be a part of events like that for any level of patron. So please take a look at that. And then we have our merch store. We have tons of Hardy's inspired merch at the merch store. So check that out. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Yay.